Gobind Singh Indraprastha University and University School of Engineering and Technology welcome each one of you to this magical marriage of human exploration with the study of cells. Here, we will explore that how our lives have become intertwined with technology and with this cornucopia of options available in various applications and technological interventions. We need to understand what makes the human beings think, value, believe, and opine. To understand the new techno-driven Homo sapiens sapien, one must then find the deeper associations between the origin and genesis of science and society. And that, dear friends, takes us to the special session of today, to the journey of the mystical world of self-exploration that helps us to find interesting and everlasting interrelationships between the spiritual being and the techno-human. I extend our warm welcomes to Sri J.N. Mohanty, our esteemed guest speaker for the day, his associates, Dr. Samit, and Professor B.V.R. Reddy, along with all the attendees, to this wonderful journey of mystiques and meditation. Today, it is our privilege to welcome Sri J.N. Mohanty, Secretary, SATSANG VIHAR, New Delhi, to deliver a special lecture on the role of spiritual engineering for all-round fulfillment of life. I request Professor Reddy to kindly come along with Sri Mohanty on stage. Sir, please take a seat on the stage. A round of applause for our special speaker of the day. When he comes in, then he'll be joining us up on stage. Without much ado, let me introduce the chief speaker to you. Our chief speaker is part of an Indian intellectual lecture series wherein distinguished speakers engage in the discourse on Indian culture, heritage, meditation, and the challenges of the young mind, you all, young explorers and seekers. Sri J.N. Mohanty is a Master's in Public Administration from Utkal University. He is a multilingual communicator who's translated several volumes from Bengali to Uriya. He is a prolific writer and he freelances for various periodicals and dailies, including the well-known Times of India. He has deep understanding of theology and philosophy of many religions. He takes keen interest in bringing awareness amongst the youth about how best to innovate changes in society. He has addressed many intellectual forums, including gatherings at the prestigious IITs, various other engineering colleges including the NITs, universities and multinational companies. In fact, what is heartening to note is that in the recent past, his addresses has shown tremendous impact on the behavioral changes at the Jawaharlal Nehru University, Banaras Hindu University, IIT Kharagpur, to name a few. Sri Mohanty is an exponent of the all-fulfilling ideology of SATSANG, founded by His Holiness Sree Sree Thakur Anukulchandra, who is regarded as the Yug Purushottam by millions of his devotees across caste, color, creed and community around the globe. So without much ado, I request Professor Reddy to extend a floral welcome to Sri Mohanty.
इसका रचयिता है कविवर राधानाथ राय, उड़ीसा के कवि थे और ये संस्कृत में लिखा हुआ है, भारत वंदना है। जब स्वाधीनता के बाद पंडित नेहरू उड़ीसा गए थे और इस भारत वंदना को सुनने के बाद इनका ये मंतव्य था, काश ये मैं पहले सुनता तो इसको ही नेशनल एंथम बनाते। अब शुरू करते हैं। सर्वेसांग नो जननी भारत धरणी कल्पलते जय। सर्वेषां नो जननी भारत धरणी कल्पलतेयं जननी वत्सलतनय गणेस्तत् सम्यक् सर्म विधेयं। सर्वेषां नो जननी भारत धरणी कल्पलतेयं जननी वत्सलतनय गणेस्तत् सम्यक् सर्म विधेयं। सर्वेषां हिमगिरिसीमन्तितमस्तकमिदमम्बुधिपरिगतपार्श्वम् अस्मदजन्मदमन्मदमनिशं श्रौतपुरातनमार्श्वम्। हिमगिरिसीमन्तितमस्तकमिदम् अम्बुधिपरिगतपार्श्वम् अस्मदजन्मदमन्मदमनिशं श्रौतपुरातनमार्श्वम्। विजनितहर्षं भारतवर्षं विश्व उत्कर्षनिदानम्। भारत सर्वणि कृतमस्माभिः नवविधमैक्यनिदानम्। सर्वेषां नो जननी भारत धरणी कल्पलतेयं जननी वत्सलतनय गणेस्तत् सम्यक् सर्म विधेयं। सर्वेषां भारत पंकज जलमिदमुत्कल मण्डलमिति विधितं यत् तस्य कृते वयमत्र समेता विहितात्रोत्कल संसद। भारत पंकज जलमिदमुत्कल मण्डलमिति विधितं यत् तस्य कृते वयमत्र समेता विहितात्रोत्कल संसद। भारतमेव गतिरस्माकं नापरास्ति भुवि नामः, नापरास्ति भुवि नामः। सर्वादौ परिसत्कर्मणि तत् भारतमेव नमामः, भारतमेव नमामः, भारतमेव नमामः, भारतमेव नमामः।
science, spirituality, and technology. Now, without making you wait much longer, I request and invite Shri Mohanty for a special session on role of spiritual engineering for all-round fulfillment of life. Shri Mohanty, please.
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंताम वंदे गुरु परंपरा. Honorable Dean of this University of Institute and Technology, Dr. V.V. Reddy, Madam Dhilo, my friend Dr. Shambit, organizers Dr. Dibya, Dr. Prabhakar, Dr. Dash, distinguished members of faculty, and my young friends. Actually, it is a matter of great pleasure for me to be here this afternoon to share my thoughts on the subject, the spiritual engineering for all-round fulfillment of human life. The university is named after Guru Gobind Singh, who was a great spiritual leader of our country in the 16th century. So it's a matter of great coincidence that this subject that we are going to discuss today is somehow related to his name, who is a great spiritual figure. Friends, let me straight go into the subject. It's the role of spiritual engineering. Let us first understand what spirituality is. Spirituality is something which pervades everything, every avocation, every profession, every career, every aspect of human life, which is sadly ignored. Spirituality is something which is misunderstood in this country. There is a notion among the younger generations, particularly where I am here, that spirituality is something which has to be practiced at the fag end of life, after retirement, after committing all sorts of deeds and misdeeds, crimes and everything. Then let us seek a safe passport to the heaven when the life was ebbing out. Every one of us wants to lead an active, energetic, dynamic, successful and joyful life. It has to be started at the beginning of life. It is something which deals with our day-to-day habits, behavior, conduct, character, relationship with our fellow people, and so on. So it is not that something to be practiced at the fag end of life when the life was ebbing out. There is a belief that spiritual has got nothing to do with this world. It is something to do with this other world. When we are living in this very world, it has got nothing to do with this world, and which you do not know. This is the business of the other world. High up, it is up above. How far it is from here? Is it on our terrace? No, it is still higher. How far? It is at the top of the Himalayas. No, it is still higher. Dad, how to reach there? Can you go by any flight to this heaven? No flight can go there. Then you ask Dada, how to reach this heaven? How to get it? I want to reach heaven. Now one only gets heaven only after his death. Then the boy asked his father, Dada, I want to die right now. shut up my son, don't utter such bad things. It is not time for you to go to heaven. So this is the kind of notion that it is something which relates to heaven, about which you don't do anything. Spirituality is something which deals with the liberation after death. That is why we perform certain rites at the funeral time to observe those funeral rites which will absolve us from all our sins and crimes that we have committed in our life. But it is also a wrong notion about spirituality. Liberation, if there is anything after death, let it take care of itself. I am concerned with the liberation in this life here and now. What sort of liberation I want? I want liberation from all these negative complexes of my life. Those negative complexes are, to name but few: lust, greed, jealousy, hatred, intolerance, inferiority complex, ego. All these negative complexes, when one gets liberated from these negative complexes, then only he really enjoys the liberation of life. That is what is known in our scriptures as Jivan Mukta. With all these complexes, we are leading a Jivan Mrita life. We are dead in life. Living in life, we are living as if we are dead persons. So, these are some of the misconceptions about spirituality. Actually, our great leaders, including Guru Gobind Singh, those who have practiced spirituality at the very prime of their youth. You know better, the great Shankaracharya, at the age of 8, he got by heart all these spiritual scriptures. And by the time he is 16, he on foot, he traveled all over this country, right from the Kashmir to Cape Comorin, joining intellectual debates and defeating the so-called intellectuals and establishing the supremacy of the Aryan culture. At the age of only 33, the great Swami Vivekananda, the 19th century, who by his marathon speech electrified the audience of the Western people, teaching them the process of meditation and speaking about the glorious heritage of India and its culture. So friends, spirituality is something which has to be practiced at the very prime of life. And it is also understood and also misunderstood that spirituality is something which has to believe in supernatural things. Supernatural power is already there, no doubt about it. But we have to proceed to this supernatural through the nature only, through our this existence only, through these senses only. We have to approach this supernatural power. It is misunderstood that spirituality is something which deals with miracles, that many people believe, and such kind of superstition still prevalent in our society, that spirituality is something which is superstition. So what we call magic to the finite is logic to the infinite. Actually, what is miracle? Miracle is nothing but it's a mirage of ignorance. We don't know the cause, that's why we call it a miracle. Cause is not known to us, but known to Him who is infinite. So far as we are finite beings, it is for us a magic. But so far as the infinite is concerned, it is for Him the logic. So in this way, spirituality is much misunderstood, and the very first conditions for spirituality is to accept a spiritual guide and follow him and fulfill it. Without a spiritual guide, one cannot understand, one cannot practice, one cannot realize what is spirituality at all. And the spiritual guide there are so many guides are there, so many gurus are there. But friends, down the ages, this culture has produced unique such personalities who are totally different from others. That's why Swami Vivekananda had said once, there is a special class of world teacher over and above the ordinary spiritual authors and masters. When they command, the lowliest of the low can become Mahatma. He is the highest Godhead in human form. He is the world teacher.